The FIFA World Cup is heating up and the road to glory is getting even tougher. Spain edged past Portugal in a training contest. Belgium sent a strong message with a commanding 4-1 victory over the United States, and now all eyes turn to a blockbuster round of 16 clash as Argentina face Egypt for a place in the quarterfinals. Hello and welcome to the P&B World Cup show, where we break down the biggest stories, tactical breakdown, and bold opinions from football's greatest stage. I'm your host, Abel Sunday. And of course, joining me in the studio today is media sport marketing professional Josiah Delight Amedu from the ancient city of Benin, the abracadabra of sport Erojon, and from Port Harcourt, the ever insightful Jackson Caleb. Stay with us as the P&B World Cup show starts now. It's the P&B World Cup show reaching live from the nation's capital, and I have Josiah Delight Amedu here in the studio with me. Delight, good evening, and what a match we had yesterday.
How are the mighty falling in the midst of the battle? Three hosting teams are
They're
gone.
all out. I know you were saying this thing yesterday. You said it will be bad if three of them go out. At least let's see how one of them to the quarterfinals.
But unfortunately, they are gone. That tells you that it is not good enough. They've tried their best to reach the best of 16. And if FIFA is going to be grading them, they should get them amongst one of the top 16 teams. If there's going to be a kind of what they call preliminary rounds to see who actually is the best, they'll do that by the statistics of your win and loss, and then they'll grade you accordingly. And now Canada's gone, Mexico gone, and the United States of America follow suit, I think early this morning. And the non-dignities of these wonderful teams have gone. However, I'd like to give kudos to these three countries. They've actually hosted with pride. They've hosted with less friction, apart from those early incidents of rats, stealing, and in Mexico in particular. Canada had less issue. The United States was only the stealing that is stole, I think, from the Norwegians, who actually had a very rough time with the heat. However, the World Cup actually has been an exciting one so far, but hasn't been as exciting as the previous World Cup that we have ever watched.
Because of the controversies around
too much controversies that surround this, and more controversies are still appearing, and more decisions are being influenced that has never been before in world football. That an independent agency or let me say organization like FIFA will be influenced and boxed into the corner to take certain decisions that favor some certain people. Well, I don't want to mention here names here for want of my security and my person.
That was alleged.
Yes, but at the same time, we also want to say that every team that I've hosted have done their best. And let's see how they carry it on, whether they will still improve on it based on the fact that they are out, or based on the fact that this is the standard and the quality that FIFA wants to achieve and maintain ahead.
All right, all the way from the ancient city of Benin, the abracadabra of sport, we call him that because he brings magic to sport analysis. Erojon, good evening. Edo is shining.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Abel, Mr. Josiah. Edo is shining. The weather is very okay, so yes, Edo is shining.
Edo, let me start with you. Looking at what happened yesterday, early this morning, Portugal out. From my own end, I think both teams, I don't know, they were just trying to be very careful because I did not see any entertaining football yesterday. I think they were trying to be cautious behind there, but nevertheless, Spain had to get the better of Portugal yesterday. But looking at them, we see that the Portuguese defense was so sloppy, and of course, looking at what happened at 90, I think it's 91st minute when he scored that goal. But looking at Portugal and the history of Ronaldo going out of the game without nothing, and this is his last World Cup, and the tears he was shedding yesterday. Even the Messi fans, they were all even nobody bantered yesterday. You could see the emotions. They felt for him actually. But let me get your take on that.
But first of all, I don't want to think that nobody bantered him. Go to Twitter.
Actually, when I saw, well, I don't think I've not seen any banter so far to Ronaldo. I've not seen any banter.
Yeah. The truth is this, Portugal in this tournament was just a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. Yeah, when I say ticking time bomb, I mean they were a disaster that was waiting to explode. They've been very unimpressive throughout this tournament. I think I've had a conversation with you about them in regards to this tournament. The expectations that we had for Portugal prior to the World Cup was way, 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 way up there. Because as a matter of fact, so many of us, I'm not a Ronaldo fan, by the way, so many of us, we already concluded in one part of our hearts that Portugal is in the final. We are waiting for who will play Portugal. Maybe this will be Ronaldo's time to eventually get the World Cup trophy and have cabinets of trophies that he has won. And why did he come to this result? Because of the players that he paraded, because of the kind of players that he had in the team. So watching their performances in both the group stage, the round of 22 and eventually the group stage, it was abysmal, anything to use that word. It was a disaster. It was complete. It was complete trash. I'm being very, very, very angry here because you can't parade it. I want to first credit my blame to the coach of Portugal. I think I told you on this show, I think 2 days ago, if I'm not mistaken. I said I don't understand the pattern that Roberto Martinez uses Portugal. How can you go and have such players in your team, some caliber players, and Nuno Mendes is the one to start the attack? The attack starts with your left back. You saw what happened the moment you left. Just that completely. So it's just a kind of movie to happen. They managed to go past things. So tell you what happened here. If they managed to go past things, I could have bet my entire life that they will be doing so happened. That's how bad they play. That's how bad they are. And let me shock you. Joan Evans and Vitinha combined did not create a single chance in this World Cup tournament in 5 matches. A single chance was not created from the both of them. These are arguably two of the present best players in the world. It's a problem because we fielded players who at their club level they were on their A game. The likes of Bruno Fernandes, that guy finished as Premier League top assist with 21 on course to win the PFA player of the season. He's already won the Premier League player of the season. Yes, he registered just one assist in the whole of this tournament. With not up to 3 chances created. You begin to wonder, look at the game yesterday. Rodri boxed the youth entirely. Look at the game against Croatia. I think we had a conversation. A 40-year-old Lukaku boxed the midfield that had Bruno Fernandes, that had Vitinha, that had Joan Evans. This is a team that has Bernardo Silva with them, that has Rafaelino, that has Rafaelis. You begin to ask yourself, what then is the problem? I see people pointing fingers at Cristiano Ronaldo, oh, he should have been best, oh, is this, is that.
It's all his fault.
The truth is this. Is it what? Yes. It's oh, yes, age is no longer
That's right.
side. But the truth is there a better goal scorer than Cristiano Ronaldo?
Yes.
The answer remains no. In my opinion, the answer remains no. Yes. Portugal all-time leading goal scorer. Why I do not subscribe to the fact that he should be playing 2 times because he's no longer in his A game? Because I understand maybe because in his last World Cup tournament, he got trying to pacify him and all of that. But the truth remains that there were far more problems than Cristiano Ronaldo in that team. You see a Vitinha and like they were playing side passing. Robin Neves yesterday, he played more balls to the back than to the front. Gets the ball, he was playing like the Mikel that we used to have at Messi. Gets the ball, plays safe, pass to the back. No line breaking passes, no forward runs. No, they were just there. Like I said, once they were teaching time what wants to happen. If they had managed to go past them, they would have not gone past the quarterfinals. Because even against Croatia, they just had that bit of luck.
No.
Croatia had 3 goals that they crossed for outside the German. So they were a disaster throughout the tournament, and I think coach has the larger share to blame. That's my opinion on football.
Indeed, and of course, after the game yesterday, I think he resigned immediately from his role as the head coach of the Portuguese team. But Delight, let me come to you with this. How will history judge Cristiano Ronaldo's final World Cup campaign? Looking at when he started playing the first 20 years ago, that is when he played the first World Cup for his country, Portugal, which is 2006, Germany 2006, and they finished fourth. If you go to 2010, South Africa, they finished on the round of 16. That is where they went out. Then you can go to Brazil 2014. They finished at the group stage. Then 2018 in Russia, they finished. They dropped out at the round of 16. 2022 in Qatar, they got to the quarterfinals. And now 2026, which is 20 years later, they are out again at round of 16. With Ronaldo all through. But since he came in, but before Ronaldo started, that's what I wanted you to even look at. The first World Cup that they appeared was 1986, which is England. They finished third. The second one was 1986 year, which is Mexico. They finished at the group stage before 2002 Korea, Japan 2022. That is 3 before he came in. But when he came in successfully, I think he has got to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 consecutive. He has led the team to 6 consecutive World Cup. But with this kind of,
I think what the problem is, like he said, can Ronaldo, is he the best striker in the Portuguese team? No. What I saw or what I'm seeing here, there is a big problem, is a big responsibility that they have on his shoulder, and no such person can carry such magnitude of weight and be able to survive. So coming in at his own prime when he was young, he had the energy to bank some of those goals that took them up to this time. Now age is not on his side. It will be foolhardy for any coach to be thinking the likes of Ronaldo still have that strength in his foot and still has that skills in his mind, and his mind right now is getting weak. And he cannot, and he's no more in that kind of enterprising mood that he was before as a young lad when he came to limelight. So I will not. History will judge him in a most honorable and respectable light, in the sense that he has taken his country to the. He came to receive 0 trophy and is living with a 0 trophy. You cannot blame him. But you blame, like he said, the pattern with which the Portuguese are playing. And most of this pattern is surrounded towards this issue is not today. 20 years ago, before Ronaldo came, there were controversies. And I told you that was one of the reasons why Mourinho did not want to go into coaching the Portuguese team. Because Mourinho was given a condition, and he also told them that if he comes, and I think that Ronaldo was involved in that crisis, that he was also giving his own opinion that he doesn't somehow like Mourinho. And unfortunately, at that time he played with Mourinho.
At Real Madrid. Yeah.
But even in that Real Madrid, he was still having problem with Mourinho. Now, just opposite to what is happening on the field of play, the young man has done his best. Is he Portugal? Does Ronaldo have like an octopus, has about 6 legs that he will use it to just score goals? What are the rest people doing? Gomez, or what is his name? All those guys are there. They paraded beautiful stars to prepare to this World Cup, and even in the World Cup. But they were just playing football like if they are pregnant women. Your general manager was not telling me behind scene right now that they were playing so sluggishly that even a pregnant woman can even play more better football than them. And it's true. Yesterday's game was bizarre. For the fact that gave the match to Spain, Spain also disappointed me. They also were just like a Desica. But I want to believe that the heat of the game is telling more on the players right now. It is now that we know whether you have the ability for survival in terms of stamina, in terms of strength, in terms of absorbing all those pressure. Now, for Ronaldo, honestly, I don't want anybody to put the blame on him.
So you think he has had a fantastic,
he has, honestly, for him to have come at 41 to retire at 41 at a Mundial that took him to the top, at the best top 16, and bring his country to top 16. And from your statistics and history, it has shown that they have not gone past the quarterfinals.
Yes. Round of 16.
Round of 16, they have not gone past that. And if they still maintain the round of 16, won't you be happier that he brought them to every World Cup and put their football in the limelight? That people are still acknowledging that Portugal still have one of the best footballing nation. So he has done his best, carrying the flags of the nation, carrying the responsibility, and also let other people who are coming behind him
that should do so. His son is also coming. His son is coming speedily, so his son can also take over.
Is it a father child?
But it doesn't matter. What if the son have the potential?
Most of these children that come after their fathers have been a disaster.
we have to give it a try. Let's try.
Maybe the boy will not make some money to survive.
But I think the boy can also, though the shoe might be too big for him.
It will be too big for that boy to maintain. Any small mistake, the pressure of, like he said,
yes,
look at it, go and see how they are wiring Ronaldo on
the banter will be too much.
The banter is so much.
But let's cross over to Benin. Looking at 6 straight clean sheets from the Spanish side, rather 5 straight clean sheets from the Spanish side. Got 3 group stage game, 1 round of 32, and this is on a round of 16. All they've not conceded in this tournament. How can you classify the defense of the Spanish side?
I didn't think that, sorry.
Okay, I'm talking. I was asking if the Spanish team now, they've not conceded in any of their games, their World Cup game 2026, right from the group stage to the round of 16. That is 5 games so far. They've not conceded. Do you think any defense can hurt that? Any attack can hurt that defense?
Of course. The attacks are different. I strongly think they are. I don't think, also, like I said, people are not convinced, so I'm not surprised that people won't get scored again. People are not convinced. People are not convinced to not do so. Don't call the game against the start. Nigeria, everybody can be to the start. So I can't start as convincing. But I think, in my opinion, the Spanish team, I have said a little before, they depend on experience and young players. They have some players who are well experienced and skilled, and they have a blend of young players, from Maria, the likes of Pedri, the likes of Gavi, the likes of but you have the likes of Rodri, who are quite older than the others. You have the likes of the goalkeeper Gasano, you have the likes of Zabal, and Marco Torella. This is a blend. And I think this is going so well with the Spanish team. It's going well. It's a good one that up to this point they've not considered the goal. It's a very good one. And don't forget that one of the most characteristics is Mexico. They were on the same pedestal up until the round of 16 fixture against Argentina. Mexico had not considered a single goal in the tournament. So, but then again, on the day they considered 3. So this will happen. But I don't think Spain can go all the way without considering a goal in the tournament. Their next opponents, I think, should be Morocco in the quarterfinal. Morocco is a very dangerous team. Morocco is Belgium. Oh, sorry, to play against Belgium. Belgium has in short game against USA in the early hours of today. I did not expect such a performance from Belgium. If I was to predict before that game, I would have predicted that USA in Belgium. Because Belgium is one team that has gotten up very, very convincing in the tournament. Opposed to the Belgium that we know before now. So I think going against Belgium will be another place to counter for Spain. And the Belgium has gathered momentum. They defeated one of the host countries, and I think there's enough momentum to go, and they have what it takes to match Spain and to give Spain their own community. So I don't think Spain can go all the way without considering a goal in the tournament. I think now the tournament is getting, like Josiah said, the tournament is gradually getting more interesting. I'll put it like that, it's getting more interesting. We have successfully separated men from boys. So the men are now meeting men. and it's going to even get more interesting as the day goes by.
We have successfully separated the prefect from the ordinary students. So we have the senior prefect and the punctuality, yes, from the from the ordinary students. Those ones that are just in school. But we've been joined by the insightful Caleb Jackson, all the way from the oil city, Port Harcourt. Jackson, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm very well, and I'm trying to be back on this show.
It's quite unfortunate. I know you couldn't sleep last. I was seeing your post all through. Ronaldo is out. I know you're a Ronaldo fan, but unfortunately for you, we have a Messi fan also. At the Abracadabra spot, Eru is a Messi fan, and we also have Caleb Jackson that is a Ronaldo fan. But Caleb, looking at Martinez failed tactically, and he resigned after that game yesterday. But if you look at the record of Martinez, he was with, I don't even analyze Martinez very well on this show when he took the golden generation of the Belgian team, and when they were even ranked, I think top FIFA ranking top for 3 years. They were number 1 for 3 years, but Martinez wasn't able to do anything meaningful with that team. And now looking at them with Portugal also have decent squad, but still yet he failed to deliver. But looking at the record of Martinez, what can you tell about this Martinez guy? Sorry to use the guy, Martinez coach, Roberto Martinez.
I have actually taken time yesterday to do some background research about him, and before he even rise to Belgium, so can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
Before he became the Belgium head coach, remember he was head coach of Everton, and Everton suffered greatly that season.
Mhm.
They had some I'm trying to use a nice word. They had some cross results that if they were to go back, they would like to wipe away from their history. And then moving forward, he was also able to cleanse his sins by going to Birmingham City and also achieving a good result, which again put him on the spotlight. Now, Robert Martinez is a coach who likes to move with a mentality of the group is to play, the group is to calm. They don't rush the ball, but calm. Let's see what the opposition has for us, and then we hit them at their weakness. I similarly saw that the only difference was that at Belgium, Hazard was not that player who was always willing to play according to tactics. Hazard was the player that you get in the ball and he gets the job done for you. That was the difference at Belgium. Now looking at his selection yesterday, for me, I had some eyebrows to the selection yesterday because the game against Croatia, Rafael Leao was fantastic. And we said on this show that Rafael Leao is that one winger that is direct. Like he doesn't get the ball and he's looking for where to go back. However, Joao Felix was impressive a bit in the first half, having completed 4 successful dribbles, and then he was showing some spotlight in the game in the first half. In the second half, at the beginning of the second half, his light was beginning to diminish. And I thought to myself, where is it written that as a ball coach you have to wait till like 70-something minutes before you change a player? I have seen managers do substitutions in the first half, like in the first 20 minutes. We saw that in the game against Brazil versus Japan. A sub was made in the first half. We saw that in one of Cape Verde's game. Sub was made in the first half. So if the player is not playing fluidly or he's not giving you that same energy, there's nothing wrong in taking him out. And then again, I've also said that when you are playing a 4-2-3-1, football is not always built around one lineup. Football is not always built around one particular tactic. You can diversify your style of play. At the time you see that okay, your 4-2-3-1 is not working, why not similarly change your approach to a 4-3-3 flat? At least so that you compact the space between the players.
Don't talk, coach.
Or furthermore, you switch it to a 4-4-2, and then making an extra substitution for a striker who will also compensate the pressure on the front and bring in a winger in place of a midfielder so that they can play from the flank, and then the front two can be aggressive if you intend keeping Ronaldo. These are some tricks that as a coach, you don't need to wait for anybody to tell you what to do. Even looking at some of the substitutions you did yesterday, I was actually marveled by the substitutions you did. You decided to take off Tinya. You did not even bring in Ruben Neves. to continue the low block for you or to trans the game into extra time. You have to bring in Bernardo Silva. And you know that Bernardo Silva is not one of those great players who know how to cover the area when it comes to defense. When it comes to running, he knows how to run and how to move the ball. When it comes to tactical defending, you cannot expect that from Bernardo Silva, which is something that I was very angry when I saw this substitution. Okay, imagine having come on. The first thing you did was to commit a foul that gave you a yellow card. And the winner committed 0 fouls. You committed 1 and then you had a yellow card. Which shows that the tactical risk you took was more of a failure. You know, decided to bring in Rafaelia or late. I don't even have a problem that he decided to take off Cancelo. He decided to take off Cancelo. Why not drag John Evans to the right back so that you can bring in Gonzalo Ramos? These are some things that you could have easily flipped the page on the other side.
Okay.
Against us, you just make a comment. You make some kind of substitutions that people begin to look at. Where is substitution come from? Which kind of imagination come from?
Indeed, yesterday, Roberto Martinez have failed woefully tactically. But let me ask you, Delight, looking at Roberto Martinez resigning on his spot, can any Nigerian coach do that?
Number one, Caleb, I want to make you understand that you are not the coach of.
No, it's a fact. So it's analyzing from his own. It's his own opinion.
It's your opinion.
Yeah. So
you cannot tell the coach what to do. You don't have the total concept of the strategy of a coach. If you're a better coach, you should be coaching.
But I think he has the right to scrutinize.
You have the right to analyze.
And to scrutinize as well.
You have to analyze. You cannot determine if that what they call that strategy has worked for him now. You shut up your mouth. That is the problem I have with analysis. You only just identify the strength and the weakness of the team. But analyzing to say you should change this and change that, you are not to tell the coach what to do.
But he analyzed and he get the solution.
No, you have not. Ever since I see a lot of people analyze, you can only predict that this can work, but not that you are factually saying this should happen. If you say this should happen, then you should have won more games. Because we've been seeing a lot of people who predict. The retirement is not because they couldn't play. Something just didn't go wrong. Strategies don't work. When we're not the one talking about England here, that the strategy wasn't working in the early in some part of this tournament. What has happened? It's just that when things don't work for you, it doesn't work for you. It doesn't mean that you have not really studied your opponent very well, and your strategy didn't work for you for that night. That match that looks drab between Portugal and Spain, the match could have gone either way yesterday. So I wouldn't want to go and say that the coach didn't bring his best, or the coach didn't put the right person. It's just that his chemistry and his game plan didn't work. If he was not qualified to coach the team, he would have been hired. That's my own argument. But for the players, every player that comes to play is as equally good. What I like about his analysis is that you need to observe. I agree with him totally on this, that when things are not working for you, you need to quickly identify. If that's the word you are talking about, no problem. But say you should have brought this, brought that. That sometimes you go and bring so many things and then it spoils the brute. Too many advices distorts the minds of most coaches. So you need the coach to do his strategy. But for quick changes and quick strategy rotation, I can agree with that one in any given time in sports.
But I think it took a lot of time before he now makes
that's what I'm telling you. Now, for most analysts, we are quick to want to tell the coach what to do. And sometimes when the coach now disappoints us, we don't have anything to say. So I would rather we be on the safe side and be on the equilibrium of equity of analysis. So I don't get ourselves short on the board.
All right.
Well, you asked a question.
The question I asked, I was saying, if he's a Nigerian coach, will he have retired just the way Roberto Martinez did?
Well, if he's a black Nigerian coach,
why do you have to use black?
I'm talking about the homegrown.
That's racism.
The local coach, like Sia or this one that you sacked. Feeding the judge. They want to leave.
But Feeding the judge actually left
because he has been in Europe. He has seen what it is for your honor. If you're a coach of honor and you didn't do well, you need to leave. I believe what happened they did was that I haven't looked at what he paraded and what the effect of the team he paraded, and with the kind of expectation the world had placed on him, He has seen that he has failed. He has not used enough of the talent that he has to use his strategy to win the championship. So the best thing to do, I better resign. And when we shock you now, you'll be shocked. Another country will pick him because that is strategy that looks like sport is good for somebody else.
True, you are correct. You are correct. All right, let's go to Benin. If I talk about sport, I want you to talk about. Let's talk about the USA Belgium game. I know there's a lot of controversies yesterday. With Donald Trump saying that he called 1, 2, or 3 for this guy to come back, Balogu to come back to the squad. But looking at what happened yesterday, US was totally out of the way, and with the blunder that the United States how they call goalkeeper made to clear that ball, did not even clear it well, and that one gave them another lifeline. Well, let me get your thought on that. How was what really happened to United States, even with the fans that were backing them up?
You see, this is football. Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
I agree with you.
I told you earlier that if I was to predict the game before that match, I would say I would be started to say that the US will do Belgium. Going by their performances that have put so far in the tournament. But I, for one, was completely blown up. I think one of the things that really helped Belgium yesterday, they corrected one error that they've been making in their previous match. And you know what that error is? Conversion of chances. They converted their chances well. They scored early, and I've said it repeatedly on this show that when it comes to the psychological aspect of football, you see early goals, late goals, and probably errors leading to goal, they have a very strong psychological effect on the rhythm of the game. It takes a team that has a strong mentality, it takes a team that has strong resilience, that has a strong determination to bounce back from such effects. Imagine playing a match and in the first 5-10 minutes you've already considered a goal. A match that you need to win on home shore. They consider a goal in the first 10 minutes of the guy, since the 90 minutes of their around, they consider a goal. And I'm sure the Belgian team was very clinical. They're very clinical in the game. They controlled the use speed. You saw what the coach did? He dropped Lukaku, he dropped Kevin De Bruyne. He didn't use them. He didn't start them. Lukaku came on later in the second half. He played players that were younger and players that were hungry. That is football. I always say that football is a game of who wants it more. Who wants it more? Yeah. Out of pro dangerous relax of Kevin De Bruyne, but so far in this tournament, he has not been very, very impressive. He has had a series of injuries. He has had age is no longer on his side. And then they got nothing. They start the game. Even Jeremy Doku did not start the game. I was very surprised. When I saw the lineup, in my head, I'm like, what is the plan? What does this guy plan to do? There's no Jeremy Doku in the lineup, in the starting lineup. There's no Romelu Lukaku. There's no Kevin De Bruyne in the starting lineup. Who then wants to play the game? Because when the game started, I said to myself, indeed, the coach knows better than us. All we do is watch. And so the players were impressive. I think one thing that really also helped them, they made good use of the wings. They were very, very efficient within the wings. And just to say, I think that, you know, they wrote an appeal to FIFA after FIFA overturned Balogun's red card and gave Balogun the winner that played the game. And I know Belgium wrote an appeal that FIFA dismissed. I think that anger also, I'm not saying, they have to be ruthless. That also contributed and to the game. I think another thing that really affected the Americans was that the Americans, they started the game very, very well. They were very intense and aggressive at the beginning stages of the game, but they struggled to maintain that intensity. They really struggled to maintain that intensity. And then some defensive problems, some defensive errors that led to those. Like I said before, these things are psychological factors when you play the game of football. I think that also affected it. But kudos to the United States team for a country that before now they were not really heavy for football. I think they've done well for themselves. They've announced themselves to the world that yes, as it stands, we are ready, we are in, and I give them kudos at the end of the day. I give them kudos. And kudos to them. And then I think lastly, in my own opinion, one thing that I present to the truth information to very false information. And so what he managed to do was, whenever the Americans were pressing hard, he took the information to a team company. That will help him manage his potential, and you have 5 years defending. But we are not coaches. We are not doing the proper tactical analysis of that. But kudos to Belgium. That was a very wonderful article.
Exactly. Kudos to Belgium. But Caleb, looking at the Belgium team, from the group stage to before now, they don't look convincing at all. I don't even think they are going to cross this stage, to be honest. I never thought that they're going to cross this stage. But now, looking at the blowout, can we now say that these guys have not really tested a stronger and elite European team so far, and that's why they fought flat 4-1? I think that's a devastating blow for them.
I think this game for me is another game that has convinced my mentality about the Belgian side. Just like Mr. Denai said, sometimes when coaches decide to go against the analysis, they are now on the side that you have nothing to say. Because when I looked at their last game, when they played 5-0, I said something. I said, if Belgium had lost, I would have spent a greater time on that show criticizing Rudy Garcia than actually saying any other thing that matters. But again, taking out the whole De Bruyne and look on that, they do something different. Just like John also said, one of the problems they were struggling with was creation of chances. So growing in the game, I think Belgium identified that, and in something that again that also clarified was that the team that Belgium played in group stage have this low block mentality. Sorry to say, most of them like they didn't go all out. It looked more like keeping it safe while trying to counter the team. So it made it harder for the Belgian side to bring down. But this USA side, on the other hand, is a team that always wants to attack you. And you cannot always be in between. Most times you always have to prioritize one than the other. And from the beginning of this tournament, USA has been very much involved in attacking and creating chances. Now that gave room for some leverage. Looking at the first goal, we saw a very, sorry to use the word, but a very lousy defense between the two centre backs. Now that again shows something. Just as this Belgian side were all eyes on the loophole. Because if you watch Tielemans and Trossard, when they had the ball, you notice that there were some complacencies between the centre backs. So they always tried getting in behind. They tried to be getting in behind passes. Those kind of passes that if the striker is not there should be someone to get in at the far post to convert, or there should be a loose ball somewhere just to bounce on. So that again shows that this Belgian side are away, and then they are, should I say, it is not an excuse of they have not faced a better side, because this USA has been an incredibly strong team to watch. They have been convincing in all the games they have played. So this game shows that, okay, Belgium as a team on their own can go far in this tournament if they continue at the pace they are.
All right, if they continue as the pace they are, delight. Lukaku came up from the bench and scored. That's another good one for Lukaku. And again, losing at home, how does it feel? I know you're into sport, and of course, you even follow the. I know this is not basketball. You followed this tiger for a very long time, and you see when you lose at home, how do you feel in the front of your crowd?
When if you look at the ratio or the game that was played, the two teams are equally at par in terms of expectations. I think you can give them 50-50 expectations that the game can go any which way. But I think yesterday in the analysis I gave, I even outrightly gave the game to the United States. One, I haven't looked at the performance ratio in terms of how they started the World Cup from the beginning. They seem to have much strength for strategy and also taking the advantage of their home court or home pitch advantage of the crowd, and that they are hosting to win. But from the expectations, unfortunately, we have been kind of our mouths are sealed right now. Pundits who have said America will win are right now not understanding how it turned out.
But the reason why they are saying so is because of the quality of the coach that they're able to
and the quality and the players' response and their performance ratio has been wonderful. But the only thing I would say is that the Belgian team, not much personality, not much persons or analysts have given them the opportunity to excel in this manner. They've been gradually just taking their games as it comes, and they're moving slowly like a snail. They're getting to their target. Now they passed the best of 16. Now they're going to the quarterfinals. I don't know who their opposition is, but whoever they're going to meet will now determine whether that strategy that the coach is using will now work out.
Belgium is playing Spain. I think it's Spain next.
And then that's too great. That's going to be a wow game. And Spain and Belgium, Lukaku is at his best form right now.
Because he scored one.
No, he's at his best form. He's at his best form.
I'm just
not even yet. From the club stage in PSG, he's been doing wonderfully well.
No,
he's not. Yes, Lukaku plays for.
No, he's Adeko. Oh,
yes.
This Osimhen's former team. What is the name again?
Is it
no, where you said?
Napoli.
Yes, Napoli.
Is he still there?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Permit me to correct myself.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm looking at this other guy in PSG.
Yeah, go ahead.
But what I'm saying in essence is that there is going to be a no holds bar attack, because from the quarterfinals, nobody wants to hold behind again. I'll give on my Arsenal, and from there I take it up. Well, this match honestly is very tough to predict between Spain but the Belgians actually have done well, and I give them kudos, and I also appreciate the kind of football they've played. They've not disappointed the world who have been watching them and seeing them grow gradually in this competition. So whatever is going to happen is going to determine what the coach is going to be bringing at the quarterfinals against Spain over their meeting.
Indeed. Okay, Aaron, as we try to wrap up, we'll have to have a preview of the Argentina-Egypt game, Messi versus Salah. Whose iconic handle, I don't even know how to put it. This knockout pressure better tonight. Who can handle the knockout pressure better tonight? Is it Messi or the iconic Mo Salah?
Okay, these are two players that are well experienced. I'm not comparing them, please. I'm not comparing them. But these are two players that are well experienced. These are two aged players, I'll call it that. And these are two players who, in one way or the other, their teams are built around them. The Argentine team, we can't take the fact that it's built around Lionel Messi. And also the Egyptian team built around the likes of Salah. In the sense that when they are not on their A game, the team may not be on their A game also. So it's going to be a test encounter, because I'm saying this because I see so many people are trying to probably they're trying to wave out Egypt, they're trying to underrate Egypt. You need to understand first that being here is not a joke, not a coincidence. They've gone far. There were 10 African teams that started this competition. They are just two left, Morocco and Egypt. Both of them are from the northern part of Africa. You understand? The Egyptian team, this I don't know his name that spoke earlier, I think that's the name I'm saying there. He said something, the play is low block. And that's one dangerous style of play that is hard to beat. Especially when you play a team that it took France a penalty to be able to beat Paraguay. It took a penalty to force penalty from them.
With all the attacking talent that they have,
Yes, exactly. With the dangerous Michael Olise, Dembele, Mbappe, and all of them doing and all, it took a penalty. That's to say the dangerous nature of playing low block, and that's one thing the Egyptians do. The Egyptians, they don't attack you. They leave you to play the ball. Let's stay with the ball. And I fear because, apart from Lionel Messi, you see, I want to say something here that some people may not agree. Apart from Lionel Messi, the Argentine team, especially the starting lineup, there is no other crazy playmaker who can do dangerous creation there. And no Fernandez, for example, I don't know what he's doing in this tournament. I'm a Chelsea fan, he's a Chelsea player. I don't know what to say. He said, McAllister is not, is, I think McAllister has the defensive prowess over his attacking prowess. In my book, I'm speaking now, I'll put that. Then, the likes of Rodrigo de Paul, a monster when it comes to covering spaces. So, it will take something exceptional for Argentina to be able to break through the Egyptian wall, as I'll call it, in the game today. Because the Egyptians, they play very defensive and they are quick on the counters. Mohamed Salah is one of the fastest players in the world. He's very fast. So, it will take a whole lot for both teams today. But as a loyal Messi fan, I am rooting for Argentina and for Messi to win the game.
No, me, I'm rooting for Egypt because me, Egypt is Africa, so it's United for Africa. So Egypt, I hope Egypt, I hope Egypt survive today.
I will support Argentina over Nigeria.
No, God forbid, God forbid. No, not my darling Super Eagle. But Caleb, can Egypt defense survive Argentina's world-class attacking depth? I don't know. Do you think Egypt can survive that?
Just before I move to that, I would like to say something. You asked Erosion about Messi or Salah. Now remember that Messi already has a World Cup, and the tournament. If you watch Messi, he's playing without pressure.
Yeah.
Because it looks like he has nothing left to prove. So he's just like, let's go with the game, let's show as it goes on. And to correspond with what he's saying, Messi has scored, I think, 6 or so. He has got 7 of the 9 goals that has been scored for the Argentine team, which is worrisome. Lautaro Martinez has 1, Lo Celso has 1. So you now begin to question the prowess of the other players, most especially the attackers. In the game against Cape Verde, we had Lautaro Martinez for over 90 minutes, and his rating reflected his performance on the pitch. We barely even remember that Lautaro Martinez started the game, and he played an entire 90 minutes without having a shot on target. So that now begins to bring to another question. If Egypt decides to man-mark Messi, what next? What next is that Argentina will not decide to take on? Because that's something for me, I feel make to an extent players, in as much as they try to do low block, in those center places, they might try to make Messi uncomfortable, make those tactical fouls to those players again. So that's something that how do the Argentines now respond? And then talking about the Argentine way of attack. If you watch Argentina again against Cape Verde, they really struggled mostly in final third. So when it came to conversion, like creating chances in final third, they really struggled at some point. Except those goals from at some point I began to ask myself, so this Cape Verde, I think that's fantastic. Because they created an atmosphere where Argentina found it so hard to play against a team with no goals. Even in the game against Austria, after Argentina scored the first, also it's as if they all forget what they know how to play best. They all forget that they know how to shoot, they forget that they know how to come to shoot. So I think they need to actually, if they are to go past this game, I think they need to go crazy. That's the right word for me to use. Sorry, I used the word crazy. Because they need to go extra. They need to go all out. They need to forget that Messi is there. So even perplex to you, I want to even tell you how much more that Argentina is worrying me. I'm not an Argentine fan, but something gives me concern. Most of the plays that Messi has scored has come more from the back. Like it has come within from Lisandro Martinez, Molina.
Yeah.
Those defenders, you just raise your head and you just throw one long pass. Like these people that Bozina said against Messi, the 1v1 score that I said against Messi, it was Molina that gave that pass. So I'm wondering how defenders now have more eyesight than the midfielders are supposed to be creating more chances. But looking at this game, I think this is another game that Argentina may have a different approach to the game because Cape Verde opened Aloni's eyes, made him understand the different complexity to this game. So it looks more like the Argentines might go aggressive on their press. We are looking at Argentina going more aggressive on their press. However, they may not go all out because of the defensive lapses that were exposed in the last game. So we might try to see some balance of play between their pressing and their recovery of the ball. Even Egypt, I don't think Egypt is going to split the entire 90 minutes back because they also have attacking prowess. Remember, we have Omar Mamouche, we have Osho, we have Ashore. I mean, so imagine having a player like Ashore that back. We'll be willing to give the ball more. Salah will be looking to create more chances. And then again, if you take the ball away from him, it might not be so important to the game. I suppose the game might get to flow in the sense that Egypt might decide to come out at some point. But I don't completely think for a 90 minutes that Egypt can survive Argentina's before attack.
Okay, as we try to wrap up, Josiah, looking at Argentina, Egypt today, who do you think, or what do you think would have the chance to go through? Do you think Egypt might cause an upset? Do you think they have the quality to do that against Argentina? But if a certain Cape Verde can hold Argentina to ransom until they narrowly escape that, don't you think Egypt can do better?
Well, if the Egyptians are not as arrogant as the Moroccans that say that they're not Africans to get the support, because one of the things the Moroccans don't understand is that the backup of the African fans are also contributing to their success. The Egyptians are not arrogant, and the Egyptians also do what is necessary with Mo Salah playing the kind of football that he knows. But unfortunately, Mo Salah's percentage optimal playing level has gone down. So he will need the support of his other attacking midfielders and also those to support him. Well, for the Argentines, I think one of these, I think either Eru or this guy said something that is very fundamental, that Messi doesn't have anything to prove again. But it's also, he has one thing that he wants to show, that national colors, when you put it on, you have that pride to play for your country. If it's that one, I think it's showing that he's truly a captain and mobilizing the players to ensure that they go beyond the level of the quarterfinals.
This should be his last World Cup.
I want to believe it might not just be. For some, they will tell you this is after 4 years, if he's still playing, going to MLS. Also for me,
after 4 years, he will be 43.
Even after MLS, some people still want to play. Even not for the fact that Ronaldo is not playing too well, you will still have that appetite and that conviction that he can still play at 45. Well, for the match between Egypt and Argentina, Argentina is the defending champions. They have everything going for them as at now. They've been winning and they've been going. For the Egyptian African team, everybody look at the African team as a monkey that cannot that only eat banana. But eventually, if they toast a defense or a weak attacking whatever to the Egyptians and they score, I want to see that this game might end 2-1 against.
Okay, 2-1. Your final prediction. Your prediction for Egypt, Argentina.
Argentina.
I know you are going to go for Argentina, but no problem. Caleb, Egypt, Argentina. Who do you? Caleb, your prediction, Egypt, Argentina.
I think 3-1. I think 3-1. Argentina to win.
Argentina to win 3-1. Me, I go for Egypt. Egypt to win 1-0. I go for Egypt. Egypt going to win 1-0. I predict Egypt. No problem.
One of the things I know with Messi, if you score if the Egyptian scores the Argentines, they're going to be in big trouble. That's when you see the ferocity of the Argentine South American football.
Forget Messi. we are going to colonize Messi today.
I can tell you.
Problem.
I can tell you when they go to South America. You don't tell the South Americans to football and then you score. They'll ravage you.
Unfortunately, we ran out of time, and that's a wrap on today's edition of the P&B World Cup show. And many thanks to our amazing guests, Josiah Delight Amedu, Eru John, and Jackson Caleb for their insightful analysis and engaging conversation. Thank you so much, guys, for doing this with me today.
Thank you very much for having me on set. I wish to be back again tomorrow.
Of course, as usual.
And let's talk football and let's take the people.
I will talk about this Messi game because I know Egypt will go to qualify. To everyone who stayed with us, thank you for making us part of your World Cup experience. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms for more football update, expert analysis, and exclusive content on YouTube and Facebook at Politics&BusinessTV.English, on IG at PNBTV_English, on X at PNBTV_ENG. You can also watch us on Free TV. Simply download the app from the Google Play Store on your device and stay connected everywhere you go. I'm Abel Sunday. Remember, the World Cup drama is far from over. Until next time, it's bye for now.